If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Okay, look, Tory Lanez is about to drop Alone at Prom, his 80s style themed album that he's been promoting heavily over the past couple of weeks and even months. And today, I wanted to go over everything that we know about this new album that Tory Lanez is about to drop. So let's jump straight into it. So let's start with when we first heard about this album. This album is all part of this capsule type of release strategy that Tory Lanez is now running. Y'all know he released that VVS capsule, then he released the R&B capsule called Playboy, then he released that Loner capsule, which was basically a whole album. I mean, Playboy was also a whole album. I think Loner released before Playboy just to get that discography right and not, do him injustice. So now he's about to drop this new capsule. He's always promoted this as the 80s capsule, but now it's actually gotten like a real name, a real kind of album types thing, because he's always promoting this as the 1980s album. So he is treating this like an album and not just like one of those capsules that he used to do and that he wanted to go with, but it has been always teased it as the 80s capsule, just to get that straight. We got the announcement when this thing was gonna drop back in September. On September 23rd, he cleared his Instagram, and ever since then all the posts were related to this Alone at Prom project. This Alone at Prom title has been thrown around before that even. He has been teasing at this, but now it's official. On September 23rd, he took to social media to post this picture of him in like an 80s type of style with the afro and all that, and says Alone at Prom 1980s album December 1st 2021. Now of course December 1st is not the date we're now getting it. December 1st would have been a Wednesday, which would have been funny because usually they release on Fridays, but it has since been pushed back to December 10th, which is obviously tomorrow, so we're about to get this. Now since then he has been heavy with the teasers, heavy with the visualizations, heavy with the little clips that he's posting on his social media, on YouTube as shorts and stuff like that, always alluding to like a lot of 80s themed items and 80s themed like clothing and cars and stuff like that. So he's really trying to set the mood for this new record with that 80s style, and I'm not complaining. The 80s is probably in pop culture one of my favorite eras, so I'm all good here, and I love that Tory is doing this. We got 2 singles for this album so far. The first one is Lady of Namek, and that one also got a music video, which I thought was amazing, and the second one was 87 Stingray, which also got then a music video. And I mentioned both singles already because when you look at the music videos, then you can see that there is a theme behind it. And going over the music videos for a second, he also announced that he was gonna drop a film with it. Now it is not entirely sure yet if this film is also gonna drop on December 10th, and this is gonna be like the soundtrack for it, or if the different music videos are gonna be the film. That is still unclear, or maybe we'll get the film at a later point in time. If any of you know more about this, please let me know in the comments, because I would really be interested. Now, I mentioned these music videos because in those music videos, we can see a character that he created called Asher Roth. He also named his Instagram Asher Roth now. Just, chase this girl and be in like an 80s themed high school, just scenery and stuff like that. So I really liked that. I really liked also that he went full on with the 80s style. He's wearing like, the cropped jeans with the sneakers, and then like, the college jacket and stuff like that. I like that he's like fully immersed in that, universe, and even with this hairstyle and stuff like that. So I really like that. I really like that he's trying to create a universe for the listener. This is something that I've talked about quite a lot already on this channel. I just love it when artists are able to make the listener feel like they're part of a universe that they created, not just audibly with the music sonically, but also visually with what you associate with the music. And he is he's doing this perfectly. So big shout out to Tory for being that creative to do this. In the post that he's posted on Instagram and Twitter and all the social media so far, we can sometimes see different quotes from this character called Asher Roth. So he is really trying to, convey you and bring you into this universe of this new character that is, going through his own struggles and going through his own thoughts and stuff like that in the movie, in the album, and all of that. We don't have the official album cover yet. I thought initially that was going to be the picture that he posted with the announcement, but it looks like it's not going to be, because since then a lot of other 80s styled pictures have been posted. We also don't have the track list yet, and it looks like we're not getting this until it drops, or maybe just a couple of hours before, because today is already the day before the album drops, and usually artists drop their track lists and cover arts either on the day before or even earlier on in the week when the album drops. And since this thing has been announced such a long time ago, and he's really in like the rollout process for it and tries to get people hyped up for this, I think that if he would have dropped the track list before the album drops, then we would have already gotten it. So I guess we just have to wait and see until this thing drops. But from the two tracks that we've heard so far, 87 Stingray and Lady of Namek, this is 80s style. Like, I like that Tory is like combining his R&B singing with that 80s style, with the different drum patterns, with the synthesizers, all that stuff that made the 80s so unique in terms of sound and still makes it feel kind of modern. I do want to compare this to like After Hours by The Weeknd, because that was obviously also heavily 80s influence, but still with a modern touch, and that was my favorite album of 2020. So that's got to say a lot. There are a couple of snippets going around, like the Pink Dolphin Sunset or whatever it's called, that sounds really dope, and also some other snippets that he's posted in those short videos that he's using to promote this thing that sound really great, and I'm just looking forward to hearing them, but we just don't have them as individual singles yet. But I'm sure we will get them when the album drops, and I hope that he really sticks thematically to this 80s styled theme. And also I hope that there's a story behind it. It really looks like it is, because judging from the two singles we got so far, judging from the music videos we got so far, also judging from the fact that he's doing a movie with it, there's obviously going to be some theme that you can see all throughout the record, and I really love that. So yeah, Tory Lanez is releasing his 80s styled album Alone at Prom on December 10th, so tomorrow, and we have two singles so far, Lady of Namek and 87 Stingray, that sound very 80s so far, and all the snippets do as well. He's really trying to promote this and make this like a big thing, because he's been heavily on the on the Instagram and on the Twitter game trying to get those clips out there and trying to get people hyped up, and I love that he's doing an 80s theme, and I love that. I loved it with The Weeknd already, and it seems like Tory's coming through as well. So that's my thoughts on this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for Tory Lanez's new album Alone at Prom? What did you think of the two singles we got so far, Lady of Namek and 87 Stingray? Do you like that he's doing an 80s themed album, and what do you expect from it in terms of sound, but also in terms of theme? And when do you think this film will come out that is supposed to come out with the album? All of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.